Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Jacqueline who grew up in a poor family. She was the oldest of 4 children, with 2 younger sisters, a brother, and a mother who worked tirelessly to provide for them. Jacqueline often saw her mother come home late at night, exhausted, with just enough money for a small meal. The sight of her mother's weariness and her siblings going to bed hungry filled Jacqueline with a deep sense of responsibility. Though she was only 9 years old, Jacqueline was determined to help. She sold bread at the market when she could and carried heavy bags for neighbors to earn a few coins. But despite her best efforts, it was never enough. The family continued to struggle, and their situation seemed hopeless. One dark night, as Jacqueline sat outside thinking of how to help her family, she noticed a strange, bright light in the distance. It seemed to glow from the top of a distant mountain. Rumors had circulated in her village about mysterious treasures hidden on that mountain, but no one had ever dared to go. Most people dismissed it as a fairy tale. But for Jacqueline, this light was a glimmer of hope. Perhaps this was the sign she had been waiting for. Determined to find the source of the light, Jacqueline set off toward the mountain. The journey was not easy. The path was steep and full of sharp, jagged rocks that cut her hands and feet. As she climbed, she faced harsh winds and moments of self-doubt, questioning whether she was strong enough to continue. But every time she considered turning back, the thought of her family pushed her forward. She knew that this might be their only chance to escape the hardship they faced. Halfway up the mountain, Jacqueline slipped on a loose stone and injured her hand badly. The pain was sharp, and blood dripped from her fingers. For a moment, she thought about giving up. But then she remembered her mother's tired face and her siblings' hungry eyes. With resolve, she tore a piece of fabric from her dress, bandaged her hand, and continued the climb. As she neared the top, the obstacles grew even more challenging. A storm rolled in, with rain making the rocks slippery and the wind howling in her ears. But Jacqueline pushed through, her determination growing stronger with each step. She realized that each obstacle she faced, the sharp rocks, the storm, her injury, was like the struggles her family faced every day. Just as she couldn't stop climbing the mountain, her family couldn't stop fighting to survive. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Jacqueline reached the top of the mountain. There, glowing softly in the moonlight, was a stunning piece of jewelry, a necklace unlike anything she had ever seen. Its brilliance took her breath away. She knew at once that this treasure could change everything for her family. With the jewelry clutched tightly in her hand, Jacqueline hurried back down the mountain and returned to her mother. They took the necklace to a well-known jeweler in the village, who, amazed by its beauty, paid them a fortune for it. With the money, Jacqueline's family was able to buy a small home and start a bakery. The hardship that had weighed on them for so long began to lift, and they found themselves living in comfort for the first time. Through her journey, Jacqueline had learned that persistence and hope, even in the face of overwhelming odds, could lead to great rewards. Her family's life was transformed, not just by the treasure she found, but by her unbreakable spirit and determination. The story of Jacqueline teaches us an important lesson. No matter how hard the path may seem, never stray from your goal, because the rewards at the end of the journey are worth every struggle.